Welcome. I'm Heather Clarkson, the Director of Enrollment Management at Cary Academy, and you are officially at our final Charger Chat of this season. Thank you for joining us. We are looking forward to wrapping up this part of our admission cycle with our Experience CA Day event that's coming up this Saturday, November 6th. That is also a virtual event. And if you're interested in joining us from 10 to 12 on Saturday morning, where you can select the different sessions that you would like to attend, please do go to our website where you registered for this Charger Chat. You'll be able to register for that event. And it's especially important that I mention to you that information before we kick off today's presentation, because our two guest speakers will actually have more time on Saturday to give you even more detailed insights into both our arts and athletics programs. So before we get into the meat of the presentation, let me go ahead and let my colleagues introduce themselves. We'll start with my colleague in the admissions team, Ms. Lasseter.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shaniqua Lasseter. I serve as the Associate Director of Enrollment Management here at Cary Academy, and we are so happy that you all are joining us today, and we look forward to any questions that you have at the end of the presentation.
Absolutely. And Mr. Hayes, will you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Michael Hayes. I'm the Arts Director for the middle and the upper school, and I work to support teachers in their programming and be sure everybody has the equipment and the time and the resources that they need to be successful in achieving the objectives of our arts program, and also try to be sure everybody's enjoying themselves as we do it.
Thank you. And actually, we should say, where are you, sir, on campus? Because it looks like a very exciting spot.
Well, I am currently in the broadcast studio of our video studio, which is in the second floor of the administration building. I spend most of my time, though, over in Berger Hall, which is the arts building. And we also have another studio over there, but I decided to spend this morning here in this space.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. And Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Jones. I'm the Athletic Director here at Cary Academy. We don't have studios, but we have courts and fields and lots of area to go out and play and participate. And I just wanted to welcome you to our Charger Chat.
Awesome. And we should probably say that Mr. Jones may get a couple knocks on his door because we're getting into lunchtime, and sometimes students are asking for equipment to play out on the quad. So if you hear door knocking, know that everyone is fine. It's just somebody's probably trying to get a Frisbee for this afternoon. But let's go ahead and get started. And really quickly, again, to everyone who's joining us, today is just an overview of these two cross-divisional programs that really follow our Chargers from 6th grade all the way through their high school years. So today's presentations are an overview. More detailed information is going to be available in our Experience CA Day presentations this weekend. But again, we just wanted you all to have the opportunity to hear from the experts and the leaders on these programs, just to give you a little bit of information as you consider Cary Academy. We're going to start with our arts program. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hayes, who has a presentation for us.
All right, I'm going to share my screen, and let's be sure that this is working. There we go. We're going to do a slideshow from the beginning. So I'm going to give you an overview of the arts program for the middle and the upper school. This is one of our belief statements, that we try to foster creativity and empathy in our students so that they can embrace their passions as they move forward on their journey and develop their talents to make impactful purpose even in their own lives or in the lives of others. We firmly believe that art making is essential to student learning and growth. And by art making, that can be anything from making a drawing, making a song, making a performance, making a set, making a video. We kind of embrace this maker idea of the creative process, if you will. In this process, we encourage play and curiosity, experimentation and risk-taking. We encourage people to stretch themselves, and if they fall, they can get up and try something else. We have a number of studios that we are proud to call safe spaces, where students discover various skills, techniques, and that they can create their own original works. We try not to do a copycat type of thing. We're really looking for originality and relevance in the work that the students create. We also believe that students thrive in collaboration, inclusive with others, and supporting one another on their journey of developing their own artistic voices and styles. We really focus on exploring, discovering, and innovating, creating experiences in our various studios. And we have a number of studios, both in Burger Hall and in other places around campus. And you can see that list right there on your left. So beginning at the 6th grade, we focus on exploration and discovery. And students will come in and take, this year, for example, they took 5 mini courses and in chorus, band, orchestra, visual arts, and theater. And these courses are about 3.5 weeks long. And in that exploration and discovery, they're meeting teachers, they're exploring spaces, they're experimenting with musical instruments, materials, tools, their voices. We introduce them to design thinking. We create the concept of collaborative design teams with them, and as well performance ensembles. So in late November, December, students will then select or list their top 3 preferences of those 5 areas. And then we try to give them one of their top preferences that they will then take a deep dive into for the rest of the year. And those majors, as we call them, continue into the 7th and 8th grade. And we also add other options like video production as an option in the 8th grade. And those classes are year-long. They meet 2 days a week, I believe, for 75 minutes each. Then in the 9th grade, 9th graders will take 2 semesters of exploration and discovery in art and design. And they will take 4 different courses, basically, one in the 2D studio, one in the 3D studio, one in the makerspace, and one which is an introduction to entrepreneurship. These are introductions to design thinking. We further the idea of collaborative design teams, and we also integrate technology and design as they respond to the challenges that we give them. We offer a number of courses in the upper school in visual arts as electives. So the 9th grade art and design is a required course. Beyond that, students need to get 1.5 more credits as a graduation requirement in their 4 years in the upper school. And those can be a mix, a hodgepodge of all kinds of things. Those are our visual arts offerings this year. We also offer a round of digital arts. Some of these courses will change from year to year depending upon student interest. We also have a robust performing arts program. And the performing classes prepare for sharings and concerts throughout the year. Now, we've also gotten into the mode of making recordings and sharing them out here in this time of the pandemic, and we're getting pretty good at that as well. Visual arts are also displayed throughout the year, sometimes digitally, and sometimes in a gallery showing in the spring. Now, there are extracurricular opportunities in the arts. For example, honors chorus and district and all state ensembles for music students, music performance adjudications. We encourage students to create pop-up concerts. Students perform for other events like Grandparents' Day. There are other clubs. There's some music service clubs, art clubs, a fashion design club, magazine club, that type of thing. We also have a very robust extracurricular theater program where we put on some plays and musicals. Every now and then we'll do an all-school musical or an all-school play. We try to mix it up from year to year. These are a couple of examples of photographs of shows that we've done in the more recent past. This was from the Music Man in 2019. This is an original show called Unforgetting. The middle school students wrote their own piece, and we worked together to create this space in the theater using technology, using projection as a scenic element and as a lighting element. Here's another photograph from that show. This is another photograph from Unforgetting. I'll show you the types of things that we try to do and experiment with of using costume as a projection surface. And this was a show called Metamorphosis that we did several years ago. And we went so far as to put a wading pool into our studio theater, and students performed in about 2.5 feet of water. So that's the short version of the overview of our program. If you have additional questions, you can share them here, or if you want to write me directly later on, there's my email address. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn this back over to Ms. Clarkson.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes, so much. Some great examples from those images, both throughout the course of the presentation and then from our theatrical performances, I think that really give a nice overview. There was even one shot I remember of the combined concert down at Maymandy Hall not all that long ago. So some really wonderful opportunities for our artists. Reminder to our guests that you can use that Q&A function right now to put in some of your questions about the arts programs while we go ahead and transition to Mr. Jones' presentation about the athletic department. So Mr. Jones, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, let me see if I can see how we can share our screen here. Okay, share. Can everyone see that? All right, here we go. So I have a short presentation as well, similar to what Mr. Hayes had. This one is going to focus on our athletic programs here at Cary Academy. I wanted to start with our philosophy, and our philosophy is simple, but we feel like it's very important, in that our programs are built around sportsmanship and fair play while promoting attributes that we feel are going to be important as our students change into a young adults. And those can be including integrity and self-discipline, resiliency, confidence, and then leadership opportunities. And we try to do this all within both a competitive and a fun atmosphere. We do have a variety of levels of play. Okay, we have our middle school level, and our middle school level is focused on the skill development portion of our sports program. And this year in particular, we added a new facet to our middle school teams, and that was the inclusion of sixth graders. Some people say, well, why sixth graders after all these years? And we just felt like it was an important part of our program, and kids were missing out on that culture and being able to form bonds outside of the classroom. And so the inclusion of them has really added a brand new dynamic, and it's really exploded the number of signups that we've had for each of our sports seasons so far, the fall and the winter season. So in order to respond, we've actually added more teams and larger rosters to try to accommodate as many students as possible. After our middle school program, those in the upper school can participate in both our JV and our varsity teams. Again, there is a focus on skill development, but at the same time, we do ratchet up the level of competition and strive to be successful both on and off the field. Even though that there are cuts that are necessary at these levels due to participation, we strive to have at least one, if not two, no-cut sports, because we do want our students to participate. And we feel like it's important for both the health and the well-being of each of our students. And so we encourage them to find a sport or some avenue for participation. Some of our sport offerings. Obviously, this is dictated by our fall, winter, and spring seasons. Right now, we have just entered the winter season, but overall, amongst the three seasons, we actually have 14 different sports. Some of them you may be familiar with, others, such as field hockey, you may not have the same familiarity. And we have 50 different teams. Yes, 50. In the fall, you'll see cross country, golf, field hockey, soccer, tennis, and volleyball. Some of these levels, such as middle school, we may have one or two, or like we have in the winter season for basketball, 3 different middle school teams, again, to accommodate as many as we can to not only effectively run a program, but to include as many students as possible. These include basketball, cheerleading, swimming, and wrestling during the winter. And then our other offerings in the spring are baseball, golf, boys and girls lacrosse, soccer, softball, tennis, and then track and field. So who do we play? So our competition actually varies whether we are at the middle school level or we are at the upper school level. Some consistencies we do have with Ravenscroft and Durham Academy, North Raleigh Christian. But at the middle school level, we are actually a part of a different conference. It's called the CAMS Conference, and the Capital Area Middle School Conference, and there are 10 teams. But outside of those 10 teams at the middle school level, we do have a complement of public schools that will play. Many of those from Durham and Chapel Hill, every once in a while, the Wake County schools. And so we have a wide range of competition, and we typically try to schedule our competition with those that are going to be, equal and give us good competition, and make our programs better while allowing them to participate out on the field. Within a TSAC, which is our JV and varsity conference, we have the Durham Academy, North Raleigh Christian, Ravenscroft, St. Mary's, Wake Christian, and obviously ourselves. And I wanted to lastly go into our facilities, and you can see here a little bit. This is an overview of our campus, and this up here would be Harrison Avenue and our circle in front of the admin building. But out back is where most of our athletic fields reside. This is our fitness center where I live, our baseball and softball fields, our track and field, and several other of our multi-purpose fields. Those two are back here, and our secondary gym. I wanted to give you a closer look. Down here on the right-hand side, you'll see our fitness center. That's one of our two gyms. Here we have our field house, which was built, I guess it's been within the last 5 or 6 years. But down here at the bottom, you'll see our track and field. We're pretty proud of this track and field. This came in a couple of years ago, and it was actually a Mondo track. And the Mondo track surface is one that is often used in Olympic tracks. So we have a premier track and field facility. Out back, we have 2 multi-purpose fields. These can be used both as practice and game playing fields. We have 6 different tennis courts on campus right behind our field house. Our baseball field here on top, our softball field below. We are able to use some of the facilities at SAS. That's where we swim and we compete. And then we also have a newly renovated strength and agility training center. This has been a much more open space, and one that is a judgment-free zone, as both males and females and middle school and upper school students feel like they can go in, whether they're athletes or just students wanting to increase their fitness. And we have a strength and conditioning coach which works with those individuals. And it's really been a strength of our, no pun intended, of our offerings. Yeah, there is one thing that I would like to add. We also have a support group of students. This is called our X Factor. And our X Factor also will attend games and cheer on our athletes. But at the same time, they do a lot of things behind the scenes and put together some spirit-filled activities, such as theme nights for basketball, homecoming, a fall and a spring tailgate, a dodgeball tournament, 3-on-3 basketball tournaments. We have games on the quad with music. And then just this last Friday, we did a Friday Night Lights football game, which was a lot of fun. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved, whether you're in the sports or just want to be a supporter of our athletic program. And that's a pretty brief overview.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Jones, so much. And again, both of these programs are for our students grades 6 through 12. So we welcome any questions that you may have at this time. For those of you who are participating with us live, please go ahead right now and use that Q&A function to drop your questions in while we welcome some of our student ambassadors who are going to join us for that Q&A panel. And then if you are watching this as a recording later from our website, please know that you can always email us at admissions@caryacademy.org, and we can make sure to get your question to the appropriate person.